You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice, and the playoffs are in full swing. I'm your host, Connor Cupin, and alongside with me, I've got Phil the Thrill Ellers. How's it going, my friend?
Doing good today, Connor. Both our teams have advanced already, so
yes,
can't complain.
Indeed. The playoffs are in full swing. My first round is going. Did you make a bracket beforehand?
Yeah, I did make.
You did make a bracket beforehand, and so we're gonna get into it as it goes along. But it's been great. We just did a great broadcast for the Red Hawk Sports Network this past weekend, and had so much fun putting that all together with BMO. And it was a great experience. But aside from off the ice things, didn't have a show last week due to ADJ testing. So good luck to all the ADJs out there trying to become DJs. And as we wind down, it's just this show and one more show of Breaking the Ice, and that's it. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about the news in the NHL. So let's start with the basic, easiest series. Talk about the New York Rangers sweeping the Washington Capitals. Now, let me tell you, I made my bracket, and in the NHL Game Center bracket, you can even pick this how many games the series will go. And I picked the Rangers in 4, and it came true. It came true, Phil.
Yeah, I picked the Rangers in 6 because Charlie Lindgren was just so hot to end the season.
But it didn't carry into the playoffs. Didn't carry into the playoffs. They looked pretty good. They looked pretty dominant in that first round series. And that's a squad who, look, the NHL this year, there are 6 good teams in the Eastern Conference. Probably.
Yeah.
That's how sports really works is, for how good teams are, there has to be a lot of bad teams as well. So since this year, you see in the West, there's only 6 good teams, and in the East, there are, I'd say there's like 9 solid teams in the West. So 9 solid teams in the West, 6 solid teams in the East, right? So that's half the league almost, which makes sense. Usually, that's averagely what a league is like. But the NBA is ridiculous because this year they had 10 teams in the West with a positive record and 8 teams in the East with a positive record. That's 18 of the 30 teams having a winning record. How is that possible, you may ask? All that means is the teams at the bottom of the league are absolutely horrendous. And that's what you saw in the NBA. So many absolutely trash teams. Whereas in the NHL, there's less of that. There was only a few trash teams and a lot of more mid-tier teams. For example, the Sharks, trash. The Ducks and the Blackhawks, right? Those are trash teams. Arizona, no, 36 wins isn't trash. It's not good, don't get me wrong, but it's not awful. And in the East, what? The Blue Jackets were the only team under 30 wins. There's only 4 teams under 30 wins in the entire league. In the NBA, it was so different. Because you look at the standings of the NBA, you had 4 teams in the East alone under 30 wins. And then you had 3 more teams in the West under 30 wins. You had 7 teams under 30 wins, and Utah had 31. And Brooklyn had 32. So there was bad teams in the NBA. Whereas the NHL, the 5th worst team had 30 wins. And that's the Canadiens. So like it could be way worse. So that's why there's a lot more mid-tier teams. So seeing the Capitals swept, the 40-win Caps, very mid-tier team, but the 55 President's Trophy winning Rangers made quick work of them. I mean, Game 1, domination. Game 2, it wasn't domination, but they never lost the lead. Well, they actually, no, they started the game trailing, then they scored 2 straight. Trocheck, Zibanejad. And there's nothing the Rangers could do, the Capitals could do to catch up. Game 3, defensive domination. Igor Shesterkin gave up only 1 goal. And then Game 4, third period, power play killed it. Empty net power play on that at that. So, look. This team is certainly has the skills to take it all done. Rangers in 6, huh?
Yeah.
Rangers in 4.
Hey.
Who's your favorite player in that first series? Who played the best?
You got to go with Igor Shesterkin. I think 4 wins. Let in 7 goals, I think.
7 total goals?
I think.
Did he play all 4 games? He played all 4 games, right?
Yeah.
He let in, 7 goals in the 4 games. Good numbers.
Yeah.
Good numbers you can't complain about. Which player would you say could improve in the second round?
I don't want to disrespect Panarin, but he kind of was irrelevant most of the series. I know he had a big goal in game 4, but there was a couple games where he wasn't doing much. And that was the problem last year against the Devils. Panarin didn't show up, but if he shows up like he played in the regular season, they'll be fine. And then Braden Schneider did absolutely nothing this series. No points. It was a -2. He was just out there skating.
But not everyone can be great, of course. Not everyone can be great on a team. It's how it is. That's the National Hockey League for you. That's literally what you're going to get. But regardless, congratulations to the New York Rangers. They're on to the second round for the second time in 3 years. So aside from that, going to keep it moving with the next series who's clinched. The Florida Panthers took down the Tampa Bay Lightning in 5. In my bracket, of course, I had the Cats, but in 6, able to do it in 5. How about you?
I had the Cats in 7.
Cats in 7. Florida, I loved this series. Game 1, it's 3-2. They scored the first goal. Brandon Hagel ties it up. Brandon Hagel ties it up. Second period, no goals. Phenomenal save. Sergei Bobrovsky was on one. And then that third period, Carter Verhaeghe in the power play. Tkachuk gets an empty netter. And then the Lightning, they score a goal with 10 seconds left. And it was like an empty net power play. It was like 6-on-4. So, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it was a 6-on-4 goal. Congratulations. They didn't score in the final 10 seconds. Got that game. Game 2, Florida scores 2 goals in the first period. Second period, Tampa comes right out the gate. Third period, insane saves. Overtime, Anton Lundell threads this puck on an absolute line to Carter Verhaeghe in front of the net. He backhands it. He has got 5 overtime Stanley Cup playoff goals now, which is actually, I think, that's some of the highest numbers in like NHL history already.
Yeah, he's definitely up there in the top 5, I think. And the other people on the list, they're pushing 100, 200 games in the playoffs.
They're literal like NHL like legends.
And he's sitting there with 5 at like 60 games played in the playoffs. It's incredible.
But Florida goes up 2-0, and then game 3, it's just more of the same. Tkachuk hits a goal in the first period. That was a great pass by Lundell. Lundell's been on fire, just doing crazy stuff. And then Tampa dropped 2 goals, but Reinhart scores a wrist shot because it was just point-blank range. Then Brandon Montour, he takes this wrist shot from the literal blue line. It was no further back he could have taken that, and it goes straight over Vasi's shoulder into the net. Fourth period comes around. Steven Lorentz, you get your fourth-line guys in on it, gets a goal. And then Tampa gets one back, but Tkachuk hits the empty net. They win Game 3. Game 4, Tampa gets their game. They get their game. They go up 3-0 in the first. Cats come back in the second period, make it a 4-3 game, but they can't fit. They don't finish it off. Tampa gets 2 goals in the third. Whatever. Because let me tell you, Game 5, first period, no goals, some great saves. I don't know what it is, but I've been noticing this trend. I don't know if it's just the Panthers games or what. The second period, there's always a goal in the first minute. I don't know what it is, but the minute a team comes out of that first intermission, they score. I can't explain it. It's just been like every game or every other game at least. There's been a goal within the first minute of the second period because Verhaeghe scored 45 seconds into this period. Then the Lightning got a power play, and Barkov scored a shorthanded goal, which is just the most satisfying goal in the NHL. Victor Hedman ended up scoring, though, because he just had a wide open lane and just shot that thing 100 miles an hour over Bobrovsky's shoulder. Then in the third period, it was all over because Barkov shoved a goal in there. Rodriguez got a goal because Kevin Stenlin, that fourth-line centerman, he just makes a phenomenal play, gets it over to Rodriguez. He scores a one-timer. Verhaeghe hits the empty net. Nico Mikkola hits the empty net in this game as well.
New York Ranger legend.
Nico Mikkola had, I believe, 2 goals in his entire Rangers career or something like that.
Yeah.
Some low number. I went to a game earlier this year. He had 2 goals against the Devils, like in the game. So, but that being said, shout out Nico Mikkola. Yeah. He has been an incredible part of this team this year. They signed that guy to a contract. They signed 3 defensemen this year, and that has gotten Florida the best defense in the entire National Hockey League. Signing Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Nico Mikkola, and Dmitry Kulikov has changed this defense. I'm incredibly satisfied. Because that was the big point with Florida the last couple of years. They had the offense, but do they have the defense and goaltending to compete? The defense last year, you saw Gustav Forsling and Aaron Ekblad, which is great. But then it was Brandon Montour and Radko Gudas, who Gudas was good through the body, great player. Montour was there as well. And then behind him, it was Mark Stahl and Josh Mahura, right? They're the last line of defense. They're there. This year, Forsling he leads the league in plus minus, gets signed to an 8-year contract. Aaron Ekblad. Second line, Brandon Montour, he paired with Nico Mikkola now, and he's changed the game. And that last line of Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Dmitry Kulikov is great. Josh Mahura is like that 7th D lineman that slots in there. But they absolutely upgraded. Gudas went to Anaheim. I don't know where Mark Stahl went.
He's with the Flyers this year.
Okay, he's with the Flyers. But the defense has been phenomenal, and the goaltending. Bobrovsky is a Vezina contender this year. Literally there. He was an all-star as well. It's one of his best seasons of his career. And then Anthony Stolarz is an incredible second goaltender to have. Insane. So Florida won this series in 5 games. Beat the brakes off of Tampa last night in the third period, and they finally beat them in the playoff series after years. Lost to them in 2021. Lost to them in 2022. Bad when they were President's Trophy winners. It was bittersweet. But this year, after last year, Tampa finally lost the first-round series to the Leafs. This year, they lose in the first round to the Cats. It's finally complete, and Florida's on to the second round. Probably my favorite players in this series, Sergei Bobrovsky for sure. And you got to love what Carter Verhaeghe brings to this team as well.
5 goals in 5 games.
Players that could do better in the next series. I mean, Verhaeghe had 3 points last night. Barkov had 3 points last night. Maybe you want to see more production out of Reinhart, even though he still scored a ton of goals. And I don't know who to even say. They all played so well. There's no one. They were just so good. The defense was great. Forsling, all of them. I'm so happy they beat Tampa. And on to round 2. And let's keep going now. Those are the 2 teams that have moved on in the playoffs. But that's not it. There's, of course, more that has to still get done in these NHL playoffs. So let's keep it moving with another Eastern Conference series you may be familiar with. It's the Hurricanes and the Islanders. Wrong sound effect. Let's pause it because I don't want to play that. I want to play this one. Now I had Hurricanes in 4. Currently, at least 5. Islanders were able to get 1. But tonight they play at 7:30. As a Rangers fan, I assume you want to see the Islanders next round.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. I don't think. Carolina.
But honestly, it's right though.
Yeah.
It's the 2 best teams in the division by a mile competing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a good series. What did you have this series going?
Carolina in 6.
Well, let's see if they make it 5. They might make it 5 here. It was 6 last year when they 2 played in the first round, right? Yeah. So this year, we'll see. The Hurricanes, I mean, they're a team that's due to win a Stanley Cup. Every year they've been getting better. 3 years ago, they were first in that Central Division when the league was all messed up. Lost in the second round to Tampa in 5 games. Then They took the Rangers to 7 games in the second round as well. Last year, they finally get past the second round by beating the Devils, get swept by the Cats. So they've been getting better every season. Game 1, defensive masterclass. I mean, what can you say? Evgeny Kuznetsov is on the Carolina Hurricanes. Isn't that great? Isn't that so amazing?
Yeah, he left Washington, and guess what? He's still playing. Washington's not.
Kuznetsov had a goal and assist in Game 1. Freddie Anderson had a resurgence from not starting too many games this season. Now he's going crazy. Game 1, that's how it was. Game 2, Seth Jarvis, 3 points. Sebastian Aho, goal and an assist. They're just dominant. Game 3, they win that thing 3-2 because Islanders cannot catch up. Svechnikov, 2 assists. Even Brent Burns get on the goal scoring. Game 4, they lose in double overtime. Seth Jarvis had a goal. And in the third period, Stefan Noesen tied it up. No goals in overtime. And then Matthew Barzal able to tie it. But the Carolina Hurricanes probably going to win this series, right? Probably going to win this series.
Yeah. Probably wrap
as a
it up
Rangers
tonight.
fan, how are you feeling about that matchup?
It's going to be a good matchup for sure. They played fairly close this year. I don't. They might have split, or the Rangers took 3 or 4. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's going to be a challenge for sure. They're not the Capitals. It's not going to be a 4-game sweep. I'm confident still in the Rangers. They had a balanced scoring in the first round. Like, Panarin didn't have to do much, actually. Like, Jack Roslovic had 4 points. Rempe, the fourth line,
Scored a goal.
Barkey Gaudreau is playing fantastic. I don't know what it is about the playoffs, but it just brings a different animal out of him. He's got 3 or 4 points, a goal and 2 assists.
So
It should be a good series.
if the Islanders are somehow able to pull this off, I'm assuming you're not worried there at all. If they somehow win that series.
I'm not too worried, but with Sorokin hasn't actually been playing much. Varlamov
has been playing.
Yeah, but
he played a really good game. He played a great Game 4. Let me tell you that much.
They have strong goaltending, so anything could happen, but I'm not worried.
Now, Tanner said Islanders in 7,
Yeah.
He said Islanders in 7. So, for the Hurricanes, as of right now, see you guys. One more series out east I'll be paying attention to tonight. The Leafs and the Bruins. I believe I had Bruins in 6 on this. But right now, they're trying to do it in 5 tonight. How about you?
Bruins in 7. I was a big fan of 7-game series. I don't know. I was just picking a lot of 6 and 7
I mean, the
games.
NHL playoffs usually last year and the past 2 years, a ton of those first round series went 7 games and 6 games. Yeah. But this year so far, I already saw 2 series go 4. One series went 4, one series went 5. It certainly depends. But out east, I had the Cats in 6. Then I'm doing it in 5. I have the Bruins in 6, but they could totally get it done in 5. The Leafs, man, come on. It's Toronto. You just know.
Yeah.
You just know. That's it. You just know.
That's all you got to say. It's Toronto Maple Leafs, and they don't win in the playoffs.
They don't win in the playoffs. That's not something that's in their DNA. And for Boston, as a Cats fan, I'm worried. They beat Florida every single game in the regular season, so it's certainly in the back of my mind all the time. In Game 1, they beat the brakes off of them. John Beecher, Jeremy Swayman, he started the first game, not Olmark, and he went crazy. Only allowed 1 goal. DeBrusk had 3 points. McAvoy had 2 assists. That Boston team destroyed him. Game 2, though, the Leafs got their revenge. Austin Matthews, goal and 2 assists. Samsonov had an actual good game. Only gave up 2 goals there. So, look, that Leafs team had the power. They had it tied at one point, but they let it slip away from them. Game 3, Swayman again goes back out there and dominates. And then Brad Marchand, 2 goals, 1 assist. That Leafs team just did not have the power offensively in that game. Game 4, same thing. Swayman, 960. He's going crazy. It's not Olmark. It's Swayman is getting these starts for this Boston team. Brad Marchand had a goal and an assist. You saw Pasta get a goal in that one as he scored the third one to make it 3-0. But Jeremy Swayman, MVP of this Bruins team so far through this playoff run. Unreal.
Yeah. Swayman gonna play tonight, or are they going back to their way of alternating?
Nah, they're going Swayman.
You gotta ride. I know last year it didn't work out with Olmark, but you gotta ride Swayman, I think.
He's slashing a 956 in these playoffs. A 956. And look, do you think Toronto goes Samsonov or Wall?
Oh, I think Wall is playing tonight. I just checked.
But Swayman's going in there, man. I mean, he's been unreal for them. It's just crazy. And I was just thinking, a performer like that, you look on the other side, Nikita Kucherov had no goals against the Panthers, but he had 7 assists, so he still did the work. He still had goal contributions, which is good. But this team, man, the Leafs, they're leafing again, man. Yeah. They're leafing again. I don't know when they blow it up. I'm not sure when they blow it up. They have who they have locked up? They have Nylander locked up.
Nylander and Matthews. I think Marner might be the one leaving.
The one that goes. He's the younger one of them too, right? He's the younger one of him between him and Nylander.
Yeah, and
younger and slightly better? Question mark.
Interesting.
I don't know. Similar point totals, everyone. It's just how it is. It's whatever. Yeah. Leaf season every year. Mm-hmm. To have a Florida-Boston matchup, I'm here for it. I feel like, as much as a Cats fan, you want to see your team win. I'm also for winning against. I also want to see a good series as well. I'm for the favorable matchups. I want my team to go beat the best teams out there. So Florida versus Boston, I feel like that's the true 2 best teams in that division, and that would be a heck of a series. Same thing with Rangers, Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be the same if it was Rangers, Islanders, or if it was Capitals, Hurricanes, Rangers, Hurricanes is going to be, that's the 2 best teams in that division.
Yeah, you want to see the 2 best teams play. So.
Florida, Boston, I mean, Toronto's good, but they're not Boston. Clearly, they're getting beat. They're getting, Jeremy Swayman is owning them right now. So if Florida, Boston goes against each other, I'm hoping for, I'd have to hope there. This Tampa series, I'm going to be honest, even though it's Tampa Bay, I almost had no worries. Mm-hmm. Legitimately almost had I just had full confidence in that Cats team. Won the first 3 games, game 2 in overtime, just like you just felt it right. But the Boston series, though, I'm going to be watching. I literally, now that I'm thinking about it, I never once really felt nervous during that Tampa series. It just felt like they had to have it. I don't know what it was, but after game 4, I was like, okay, they got 1 game. And then it was kind of like, okay, we got to really not let them get 2 before it gets out of hand. They go back to their home ice, but Florida beats them at home at Amerant Bank Arena. I always forget the name of their arena because it was FLA Live Arena. It was BB&T Center, then FLA Live Arena, and I'm always confusing it with Amalie Arena, which is where the Lightning play. But it's Amerant Bank. Beat them at home. That's how it is. I have Florida and Boston going off in the second round. My bracket is legitimately, I can go perfect in the first round, straight up, and I'll get into it as we keep going. Yeah, because
I have Florida and I have Boston actually in the second, beating Florida
in that round.
Yeah.
Did you have Boston in 6? You said
7.
Oh, Boston in 7. Yeah. So I had the Rangers in 4. I was able to get how NHL Game Center works. You get 10 points if you get a series correct, and then 3 points if you get the games for the first round. I was able to get how many games in that first round for that series. I got the extra 3 points.
I got 20 points right now.
Daniel Amoya, Devils Fanatics, and Tanner Price, they both had the Lightning beating Florida in 6 or something like that, so they didn't get the points for that series. Tanner had the Lightning in the Eastern Conference Final. He had the Lightning taking on the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Final.
Wow.
Because he had Lightning Leafs second round. I think Tanner and Daniel both have Lightning Leafs. Yes, they do. They do both have a Lightning. I can pull up their game center brackets right now. Mine is perfect so far. Tanner and Daniel had Lightning Leafs round 2. Tanner has Lightning Leafs Islanders in the second round. Just want to let you know that. Lightning Leafs Islanders is...
That's... I'm in a bracket pool with my cousins and some family members.
Yeah.
Forget who it was. One of them had the Islanders and Capitals both winning in the first round.
Well, one's already gone. One is still possible, but
Yeah.
how it's going to happen. Daniel, yes, he had the Leafs in the Eastern Conference Finals, which just might not occur. So if you weren't there for the show where we predicted the playoffs, right? And so most of us, it was me, Tanner, Daniel, and Alex here. Me, I'm a Cats fan, so I chose them to win, of course. And Tanner and Alex are Rangers fans.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel was the only unbiased fan because he's a Devils fan. So he just had a full, just pick who he legitimately could just fully logically go through it. Yeah. No heart.
Mm-hmm.
Here's his bracket. He's got Dallas taking down Vegas in 6, which is possible. It's on pace right now. Series tied 2-2. We'll get to that. Colorado beating the Jets. He had Nashville stealing the series against Vancouver. Edmonton beating the Kings. He had an Edmonton-Dallas Western Conference Final. A Toronto Rangers Eastern Conference Final. He has the Oilers and the Rangers in the Cup Final, with the Oilers taking it all and Connor McDavid finally getting that first ring. He had it. He has it.
Yeah.
His bracket outside of the Lightning is perfect so far. But he might lose the Leafs tonight. And he might also lose the Preds tonight. So, 2 teams he could lose out on right there. But aside from that, that's the East. We got the East so far, and I think it's been a solid playoffs. I think it's been a really solid playoffs.
Yeah.
But there's a chance right now tonight for all 4 Eastern Conference series to be done in 5 or less games. And that makes sense, though, because you saw the clear skill gap in the Metro from Rangers Carolina down. That's just how it is. So now before we talk about the Western Conference side of the playoffs, I actually wanted to get into some other things. So first off, let's go to some coaching moves that we've seen around the league. Dave Hackstall's been fired by the Kraken. Was this a correct move?
It's hard to say.
It's a little early.
Because last season they clearly overachieved.
But this year they underachieved.
I think this year they returned back to what they are.
I think after going to they were in the second round last year, right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You got to at least, you can't do what they did this year. You have something to uphold there. They might have overachieved, but now that's your standard. You got to at least be competitive.
Be competitive.
And they weren't. And they just weren't.
Yeah.
But another mark, David Quinn, your guy. The Sharks fired David Quinn after 2 years.
I mean, the Sharks, they wanted to lose, so they brought in a coach that likes to lose.
That's how you feel about him there?
I'm not a David Quinn fan, yeah, not at all. But
they got in a coach that likes to lose. I love to hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Sharks had the worst record in the league, or one of the worst. That's part of the game. One of the worst teams in the league by far. One of those bottom feeders. And the best one, the Sabres' new head coach, Lindy Ruff. Not even a new head coach at all, though. Let's be real, it's a reunion here. Because the 64-year-old coach, Lindy Ruff, coached Buffalo from 1997 to 2012. 15 years, and now after 10 years away from Buffalo, makes 11 years. 12 years?
12 years.
12 years away from Buffalo, makes his return to the Sabres. He took them as far as the Stanley Cup Final in 1999, so it's not like he couldn't get it done. That team has had 6 head coaches since him. 6. And not one of them got Buffalo to the playoffs. Not one of them.
Yeah. Hopefully Lindy Ruff can return Buffalo to hockey, not glory, because I think that's winning the cup, but they got to get back in the playoffs.
But you don't usually see this, though, you know what I mean? Like,
it's been a long time.
You usually don't see something like this in an organization where a team fires a head coach and they go back. Usually those bridges are burned, but, I mean, it's not the same, the management changes, of course.
Yeah. After 12 years without the playoffs, you got to bring the guy back that got you there last. You think so? They're always right there. They're always a few points out. They make it interesting at the end, and then they just come up short.
Last year they were real close, but Florida, Alex Lyon, the Lion King took them to the playoffs. Now he's in Detroit, I believe. Yeah, he was in Detroit this past season.
Mm-hmm.
Rangers sweep the Capitals. Panthers sweep the Lightning. That's the story, man. That's the story. That's literally how it goes. Literally how it goes. And now we also have some award finalists. The Calder Trophy finalists are out. Luke Hughes, Connor Bedard, and Brock Faber. Who's gonna win this trophy?
It's Connor Bedard,
of course.
Real quick, Austin Matthews is expected to miss Game 5 tonight due to illness.
Dude, they're cooked.
It's over.
It's so Jover. Not like he performs in the playoffs anyway, but
his illness is he's getting his golf clubs ready.
Got a little headache right there. A little headache. Connor Bedard's winning the Calder. I mean, he's got to win the Calder.
Yeah.
But there's other award finalists who have been the Vezina. See, with awards like this, it's so bittersweet because it's a regular season award, right? But like, bro, as if Connor Hellebuck and Thatcher Demko, as if Connor Hellebuck is having a better playoffs than Sergei Bobrovsky right now. No, but Connor Hellebuck's gonna win this award, right?
Yeah,
even though he's having the worst playoff series out of these three candidates between him, Demko, and Bobrovsky, who's killing it.
Demko's not having nothing right now. He's hurt.
I'm talking about Bobrovsky.
Oh, yeah.
Killed it in that first round series.
It's a regular season award.
But dude, Linus Ullmark got shelled against Florida, but whatever, bro.
Same thing happened last year with Ullmark, yeah. And
so whatever, man. You're going to let Hellebuck win this thing. Bobrovsky is the real Vezina. He's going to win the Conn Smythe. Imagine, bro. Imagine. But yeah, that's how it is. I feel like those are the only award finalists that have been, announced so far. Don't believe there's any other ones that have been told. So we got a few ones there. The Vezina and the Calder. It's what we like to see. So the Cats advanced, the Rangers advanced. It's cool. I mean, it's real cool for them. So now let's get into the Western Conference of things. Starting off with the series we've got tonight. Colorado and Winnipeg. Keep in mind, the Jets dominated the Avs in the regular season, right? But when you have Nathan MacKinnon on your team, who scores 138 points in a season, and your leading scorer on the Jets doesn't even have 80 points on that season, Nathan MacKinnon is a Stanley Cup champion. I believe Cale Makar won the Conn Smythe when they won, right? Yeah. You've got NHL. You got one-time champs on this Colorado team that won 2 years ago. They have playoff experience. The Jets, they're turning into like another Minnesota or another Leafs. They're like the West. They're turning into another Leafs, kind of.
Yeah.
They're just losing playoff series. They're down 3-1. I had the Avs winning the series in 6. They might take it in 5. What'd you have for this?
I had the Avs in 6 as well.
They have the playoff performers. They have the playoff performers on that team. Let's look at the first 4 games. Game 1, the Jets went crazy, right? It was 3-3 after the first period. That's insane to have 6 goals in the first period. Then the Jets dropped like 3 of the next 4 goals. 4 of the next 5 goals. They went up 7-4. 2 more goals from the Avs, but wasn't enough. Too little, too late. They get their 1 game, whatever. Adam Lowry had 2 goals. Mark Scheifele had a goal and 2 assists. Cale Makar tried his best to will them back into that game, but whatever. Then it came the next 3 games. Game 3, they got destroyed. Arturi Lehkonen, goal and an assist. Like, you got Georgiev played a great game that game. In Game 2.
Yeah.
Game 3 as well. Colorado destroys them. Casey Middlestat, a helping hat trick with 3 assists. MacKinnon had a goal and an assist. And once again, you saw Georgiev have a solid game. Then Game 4 comes around. And it gets Valeri Nichushkin, hat trick. Arturi Lehkonen, goal and an assist. Cale Makar, goal and an assist. And guess what? Georgiev, another great game. They're on one right now. They're on one. I have the Avs in 6, but they're probably going to look like they're going to finish it in 5, to be quite honest.
It all depends on if Hellebuck plays well, I guess.
And he's not.
No.
And he's just not.
Anything could happen, though. So
Anything can happen. It is in Winnipeg, so we'll see what Hellebuck can do at home, but he's literally playing bad. He's allowed 5 goals a game. He's literally allowed 5 goals a game, more than 5 goals a game. Allowed 6, 5, 6, and 5. It's been bad.
yeah.
Actually, he didn't even play all of one of the games. He got shelled so bad, I believe it was game 4 that Brossoit came in the game. Brossoit came in the game in relief of Hellebuck. So that's what it is. Avs are going to probably go to the second round because they just have that playoff talent. Nathan MacKinnon is like Kawhi Leonard of the NHL. That's how I see him.
That's never heard that, but I see it.
You see the vision there?
Yeah.
The playoff performer?
Playoff performer, offense, defense.
Yeah, right? He's
Just-
Kawhi
just
of
a
the National
dog.
Hockey League.
Yeah.
And now he might win a Hart
Mhm.
to get that one Hart on his... Dude, if it wasn't for McDavid, he'd be like the McDavid in the league. But like,
Yeah. It's
just how it is.
yeah.
But on top of Nathan MacKinnon, he's a great player. His team's phenomenal as well. He's a guy I like to have on my squad. But Matthew Tkachuk gets the job done. And Alexander Barkov certainly is like... He's not Nathan MacKinnon, but like he's like he's like a 5 guys Nathan MacKinnon. You know what I mean? Like not quite not up there, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Gets the job done for sure.
He's not McDonald's, but
But he's better than that. Yeah. So, next one here in the West, Nashville, Vancouver. I had a couple friends, Alex and Daniel, they had Nashville steal in this series. They thought Vancouver was the fraudulent team who was going to lose. When you're so good like Vancouver, though, I gave them one series. I felt like they had to get one. And look at this. I had the Nucks winning, I believe, in... I put Nucks in 5. Tonight, look what they can do. They can win this series in 5 games.
I had the Nucks in 6.
Nucks in 6. I mean, they're that new team. People just love to discredit new teams in the playoffs, even though they don't have the playoff experience. Not like Nashville has the playoff experience either. Like they've made the playoffs, but they don't win any playoff series. They got the break speed off of them by Colorado 2 years ago, and they don't have it. They don't have what it takes. In this series, let's look at all the games. Game 1, you had Dakota Joshua had 2 goals and an assist. Quinn Hughes dropped 2 goals. Like, they went crazy. They went crazy in Game 1. Game 2, the Predators finally got what they wanted. They got Philip Forsberg dropping 2 goals. That was just what they had. UC Saros only faced 18 shots in that game, and he still only allowed 1 goal. The defense of that Nashville team was unreal. This is a game that had, like, you know how bad you got to be? Casey DeSmith played this game. 15 shots, allowed 3 goals. You know how many shots on goal there was in this game as a whole?
It was not a lot.
34 from both teams combined. 16 by Nashville, 18 by Vancouver. And it was a 4-1 Nashville. Nashville won the game 4-1. 4 shots in the first period. They scored once there. 8 shots in the second. They scored twice there. 4 shots in the third. They scored. That's just awful. Because that fourth one was empty net, of course. But, like, dude. Mm-hmm. So Nashville got their 1 win there. Game 3, Casey DeSmith rolls back out there. Bounce back game. Only 1 goal, .967. Incredible save percentage. You saw JT Miller drop a goal and assist. Brock Besser gets the power play goal that ends up being the game winner. That was the game of Casey DeSmith. He went crazy. He did it all. And then game 4, in overtime, you saw Elias Lindholm score a goal with an assist in this series. And like, look, they were just really good. Elias Lindholm got the overtime winner. Brock Besser had 2 goals. Did you see that collapse from Nashville?
And what was that game?
Game 4.
Game 4, yeah.
Besser scores. Then he scores again with the empty net. Then Lindholm wins it in overtime. Unreal choke from Nashville. And tonight, series goes back to Vancouver, 10 p.m. I think they're going to do it. I had Canucks in 5. You had them in 6 there?
Yeah, I have them in 6. It's interesting. They're on their third goalie of the series. Demko's most likely out for the playoffs. I don't know exactly what happened to Casey DeSmith, but Nashville's definitely not dead when you're facing.
It looks like
the
DeSmith is projected to start tonight, though.
He's back.
Looks like he's. Yeah, I saw they started Artur Silovs in the last game, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't do too bad. But yeah, DeSmith is back for this game here. Demko, it's tough. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tough. But yeah, it's gonna be. The Canucks gotta win one series, and this is the series they're gonna win. So moving on from that, tomorrow we got the last 2 Western Conference series. Let's get into LA versus Edmonton. We've had this series twice the last 2 years. We've gotten it for a third year in a row. We're gonna get the same result for a third year in a row. I had the Oilers in 6. It looks like they're gonna take it in 5.
I had them going 7 again. They go 7 every year, those 2 teams, but it's not looking that way this year.
Oilers are up 3-1.
Their offense is just too much for the Kings to keep up with.
Oilers are up 3-1, and tonight it's back in Edmonton. And yeah, we look at these games tomorrow it's back in Edmonton, not tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play no more April games. This series, game 1, they won 7-4. Zach Heeman, hat trick with an assist. Connor McDavid had 5 assists in this game. 5. And Evan Bouchard had 4. Those 2 killed it. They absolutely killed it. Like, that was just an insane game of offense. You saw them go up 4-0, and it was like, okay. 2 goals from the Kings. They went up 6-2. Then 2 more goals from the Kings, but then Warren Fogle, empty netter, destroyed them. And then it took in game 2 the Kings to win in overtime. You saw Adrian Kempe have 2 goals. Anze Kopitar had a golden assist in overtime. Kopitar was the one to win that game. And they got 1 game back. It's like, okay, LA, you have something here. Game 3, no. They get destroyed again. They get destroyed. Draisaitl, 2 goals and an assist. Heeman, 2 goals. Nugent Hopkins, 3 assists. That offense is indeed too much. Stuart Skinner had a great game as well. And then Game 4, which is on Sunday, that is a classic hockey game. Bouchard scoring the only goal on a power play. There was not one even-strength goal in this game. Stuart Skinner, 33 save shutout. Shout out that guy. And one guy I feel bad for is David Rittich. This dude had 12. His defense was pretty good in front of him. They only faced 13 shots. Right? 13 shots. But they scored a power play goal. David Rittich saved every single even strength shot against him. And the defense played well in front of him. They just took a penalty. Power play happened. The LA Kings offense failed him that day because they had 33 shots and not one of them went in the net. Not one of them went in the net against Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, it's big save. Dave did his job, but it was just that the power play goal, Bouchard just ripped a one-timer from the top of the circles, and that was all. And the Kings offense
that doesn't exist.
They weren't there. Yeah, Quentin Byfield, I don't know where he was. Yeah. Kopitar, none of them.
Kings, get ready to learn whatever, man. Get ready to learn whatever.
Get ready to learn Cancun.
Get ready to learn Cancun. I have Edmonton in 6, so it looks like I'm going to do it in 5. So now the final Western Conference series. Let's get into it. The best series, honestly, maybe in these playoffs, right? Without a doubt. Yeah. Best series in these playoffs. Dallas versus Vegas. This is the Western Conference final matchup of last year, and it's been quite a first round. So I had Dallas winning in 7 games, right? But they're on pace for it right now. They were down 0-2. They've battled back. They went on the road, and they fought through adversity. This is the only series where I can't tell who's going to win. What did you have in this series?
I had Dallas in 7 also.
Dallas in 7? That's what we want to see as well. No one wants to see Vegas. I want
Mhm.
to see them. We want to see this LTIR team strapped up, go in there. It's tied 2-2 right now, and this has been the series to watch, genuinely. Let's go game by game. Game 1. You saw Vegas go up 2-0. Then after that, they went down 3. They were up 3-2 at the end of the first period. They go up 4-2 in the second. There's just not enough defense to go around. Jack Eichel had 2 assists. McNabb scored in this game. It was Vegas' game. Game 2, they ended up winning that one 3-1. Logan Thompson had a 20-save game, only gave up 1 goal. Noah Hannafin scored in this one. Even Jake Ottinger played really well, honestly, all things considered. Jake Ottinger only gave up 2 goals. The last one was pulled because empty netter Jack Eichel hits it. Stars offense. Where's that best top 6 in the league? They're saying they have the best top 6 in the league. Didn't come through in that second game.
Yeah.
Game 3, however, backed against the wall, down 0-2, and now the series is heading back to Vegas. You can't get out of hand here. Dallas goes up 2-0 in this game. Wyatt Johnston, Miro Heiskanen score, but then Braden McNabb gets one and a Jack Eichel shorthanded goal. Man. Third period, no goal scored, and it's Wyatt Johnston to win it in overtime. He had 2 goals in that game. Jason Robertson as well, really good game, 2 assists. And Logan Thompson, once again, great game from that kid. Game 4, backs against the wall. Who else but Jake Ottinger to come through with a 32-save game, only allowing 2 goals. You saw Evgeny Dadonov score to tie it up in the first period, then Wyatt Johnston on the power play, Ty Dellandrea, and then in the empty net, it's Rupe Hintz to tie it up. This thing's 2-2. I don't know who's going to win. We've got Game 5 tonight, or I believe tomorrow, my mistake.
Night.
Game 5 is tomorrow. I have Vegas in 7 on this one. No, Dallas in 7. And you also do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we went into our first round series. I believe we all had the same. Did we have the same first round winners for every series?
Yeah, I think so. I've Dallas, Colorado, the Nucks, Oilers, Cats, Bruins, Rangers, Hurricanes.
That is also my first round right there. Games might be a little different, but let's see how our second rounds also match up here. In the second round, I have we have the same first round, so our playoff brackets look the same.
Yeah.
As far as that goes.
Mm-hmm.
My second round, I have Dallas taking down Colorado.
I have that as well.
You have that as well?
Uh-huh.
I have Edmonton taking down Vancouver.
I have the Nucks.
You have the Nuts winning too. You think they have that kind of success in the off rip? It's possible.
Without Demko, I'm not too confident in that anymore against Edmonton. But
When you made the bracket,
when I made the bracket, Demko was healthy. Yeah.
So I see. Well, right now, do you still agree with your Western Conference picks? Do you still think Dallas can get to Colorado? And do you think Edmonton's going to win now? What do you have right now after what you've seen so far?
Right now, I'd probably go with Edmonton over Vancouver, but could go either way. Edmonton they have the goalie right now.
And still Dallas over Colorado?
Yeah.
Out east, you have Boston over Florida. Of course, I have the Cats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You still agree with that?
Yeah, Boston. If they keep Swayman playing and they don't go back to their alternating games, which is hard in the playoffs, it works in the regular season, but playoffs you want to ride the hot goalie, and if they keep riding Swayman, they're gonna be a tough team to beat.
You got the Rangers in Carolina, obviously.
Yep.
Of course. And do you have the Rangers winning that series there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do.
So out east, you're gonna roll with Dallas, Edmonton, or Dallas, Vancouver? Out west, I mean.
I'll stay with Dallas, Vancouver.
So, who's winning? Who do you have in the Cup final?
Dallas.
Dude, everyone in the world has Dallas in the Cup final. I put them in the Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
Only Daniel picked Edmonton in the Cup final. Alex has Dallas in the Cup final. Tanner has Dallas in the Cup final. I believe Matt also has Dallas in the Cup final. It's just the popular answer. It's the absolute popular answer by a mile.
Dallas almost feels like the Hurricanes. They're always good.
They're the Western Conference Hurricanes.
Yeah,
they are.
They're in not a weird, but a newer hockey in market. Not necessarily known for hockey in Dallas, Texas, but they're a good team, and
Went to the Cup final 2020. Yeah.
they're still looking to get over the hump, just like the Hurricanes.
Are you a Mets fan?
Yes.
So, I've heard this from Daniel and Tanner. They, as a Rangers fan as well, Tanner said he looks at the Hurricanes and he's just like, they're the Braves. Is that how you feel about them? He looks at the Hurricanes, he's like, they're the Braves.
I haven't really thought of it like that. I'm actually Hurricanes are my second team because I grew up in North Carolina for 11 years.
So how'd you become a Rangers fan?
I was born here. My family's all from up here, so we're Rangers fans. But then being just down there, you grow accustomed to it. You know, I've been to.
So when did you move down there?
Games. I was born here, and then when I was 1, we.
Oh,
we
so
moved,
you grew up there. So you don't remember living here before.
Yeah,
now.
We moved back here in 6th grade, so I had 11, 12.
Oh, so that's right. So you
11,
pretty much had like 2 childhoods almost. You had your the literal childhood.
The year,
but then when 11 is, that's still a very impressionable part after your life there. So, I didn't become a Panthers fan until I was 12. So I get it. You had literally that's 2 separate childhoods right there.
Yeah, but I think it was the year we moved down there when the Hurricanes got their cup, and they had a
06?
The 2016 they had a anniversary thing, whatever. I actually got a picture with the Stanley Cup at the Hurricanes thing, wearing my Rangers shirt. But yeah, so I always root for the Hurricanes unless they're playing against the Rangers.
I see.
But I don't root for the Braves, so I don't say that this comparison. I see what they're coming from.
They were saying that team in the division that just steals that playoff spot, sneaks up there. Because I believe last year the Hurricanes they won the Metro.
Yeah, I see where they come from.
See where they're coming from that one.
Mm-hmm.
They're the Braves. They're the Braves. Whatever, man. That's the NHL for you. That's the National Hockey League. So what's your Cup final team? It's Rangers Stars, right?
Rangers and Stars, yes.
So you have a Rangers Bruins Eastern Conference final.
Rangers Bruins, yep.
What team are you most scared to face as a Rangers fan in the Eastern Conference?
I'd say the Hurricanes right now. It's always a great matchup between the two. And the Hurricanes, they added Jake Gensel, and he's a dog in the playoffs. And a few years ago, the Rangers-Penguins first round series, Gensel lit the Rangers up. He's just an animal in the playoffs.
Yeah. As a Cats fan, I feel like I have to go with Boston. They just struggled against them all regular season long. They're just this next series. I'm ready. I said this earlier. It's my belief that the quarterfinals are the best round of playoffs in everything. The second round is the best round for me. You agree with this? I'm a believer that the second round is the best round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have, of course the competition gets better, right? But I feel like you get 4 series and you get 4 good series. You get 4 really good series. Because you get just 8 teams of some, the first round, Capitals, Islanders.
Yeah, there's always a few teams that don't necessarily deserve to be there.
Nashville, Kings. I mean, you get a few good ones too. You get Dallas, Vegas. You get Dallas, Vegas in the first round. But Carolina, New York, great series. Florida, Boston can be a great series. Dallas, Colorado could be a great series. Vegas, Colorado could be a great series. Mm-hmm. And even Vancouver, Edmonton. These are all great. These are all great. And any one of those teams can do great things. So, what team from the West are you most scared of as a Rangers fan? LA Kings? 2014 vibes?
Oh, that was a low blow.
Low blow. For me,
I have Vegas losing in the first round, but still Vegas.
Dude, yeah, right?
It's just you look at their team how the LTIR merchants.
As a Cats fan, feel like not Vancouver, not Edmonton either. Colorado and Dallas are scary.
Mm-hmm. Colorado has pedigree.
They have the pedigree. They won it all. They won it all, man.
Mm-hmm.
They won it all. And we got some good playoffs coming up, man. I mean, it's the best. This is the best. This is the best right here. The second round's about to get going. Florida's already in there. Tampa, bye. Is Steven Stamkos going to be back in Tampa Bay? Free agent. He's a free agent.
Yeah,
It's a free man right there.
It's gonna be interesting. Does he stay with Tampa? Will we see Steven Stamkos on a team, a younger team, and he might push them over the edge?
I think he goes to the Cats.
You think so?
Imagine. I don't know if they have the money for that. But where would he play? Like, he's not playing on the first line in Florida.
Mm-mm.
I mean, Tarasenko's a rental. I don't think he'll stay in Florida. So maybe I don't know what they'll do. I don't know what they'll do. But
you know where he would be fantastic?
where?
The New York Rangers.
Yes, of course. Is this it for the Tampa Bay Lightning? Is it over? Is it over for their dynasty?
Yeah, I think
It's over now.
it's over.
2 first-round exits back-to-back, and they absolutely got worked in this series.
They haven't been the same since the second game, I think, against Colorado in the Stanley Cup playoff in the final when Jassy let in 7. They haven't been the same.
Who left their team for the Ducks? I forget who it was.
Dude.
A couple years back. Dude, what's his name? It's not Sorelli. He's still there. Oh, my God. He won 2 cups with them. And then I forget his name all the time.
They lost guys from the cup like Gaudreau, Andre Palat. They lost a lot of their depth. That was one of their biggest strengths. And
Alex Killorn. That's who I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they lost guys, and it's hard to replace it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Vasilevsky, you're not him anymore, man.
No, he's
Victor Hedman, not him anymore, man. It's so fun. Tampa's down. It's crazy because it's not even their state anymore. They don't even have Florida anymore. Forget the East. Forget the league. They had 2 cups. They had the whole league. They had the whole East. They went to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. That Rangers Lightning series. I have a question for you now. Out of the recent years, we have a few seconds left now.
Mm-hmm.
As a Rangers fan, which year are you like, man, that was the year they could have won it, but they didn't win it? Was it 2014 or was it 2022? Or is there a different year?
2014. They were in the
Cup final, yeah.
Cup final actually. So you're inclined to say that,
But that,
but also
yeah.
in 2022 against the Lightning.
Yeah. You feel like that was the year they could have done it?
They were up 2-0 in that series. They sold, they choked, but Colorado was so good that year. I don't know. But 2022 definitely.
All right. Well, that's all we got here for this I almost said Ant and Maz in the midday.
Whoa,
Wow.
Ant and Maz in the midday.
That's all we got here for Breaking the Ice. As we're listening to the top of the hour here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. The last episode is next week. We'll be back. Everyone, the playoffs are coming. We're in the middle of it all, and it's great. So have a good one. For Connor Cuban and Phil the Thrill Ellers, peace.